Shalom and good morning. I thought I'll move towards something that was placed on my mind and heart. And that's randomly presenting things that I encounter and that's going on with me. My name is Symmanayah. And so I want to welcome you to something new that I'm trying. I call it Symmanayahs Chat Time. If you are entering into the room, I want you to be advised that this live broadcast is being recorded. Symmanayahs Chat Time. I woke up this morning and I had this dream. It was a dream about me being with an employer that I once had. And the boss with this company, my immediate supervisor with this company, gave me a promotion and a raise. I was in a position of contributing towards leadership. But things have changed. It was an employer that I had in the past, but in this dream, the physical plant was larger. The landscape was larger. The operations had many more people working around. And then it came to a point where the business would normally be closed for the day, but a whole nother team came in and they had on different uniforms, still doing somewhat of the same things, but at a larger scale and a little bit more diverse. And with this new promotion and raise, as I walked around the physical plant and as I observed the individuals working and everything, it was as though I didn't know where to begin, where to start. I knew that I had been given a responsibility. I knew I had received notification that there will be some compensation or some reward in this new position. And so, but again, things had changed. The place was larger. It was bigger, had more people. Operations was more diverse. So as I awakened from this dream, and I'll tell you this, my brothers and sisters, anytime I have any type of dream, I will seek out the Most High. I will pray and ask the Spirit of the Most High in Yahusha's name. Is there something that I can gain? Is there something for me to learn out of this dream? And lo and behold, I believe his Spirit said, look around you. Look around you. Anything we do in life, our witness can have some effect on others. That's a form of leadership to some degree. And look around you. Things are not like they once were. The landscapes are larger. Your awareness is larger. And as I began to continue to pray, I believe the Spirit of Yahushua was telling me things have changed. Sure, there's nothing new under the sun, but for you, your experience, things have changed. You have come into more knowledge that I have given you. You are seeing things that are different. But know this, my son, and this is what I believe he was saying, that though you may be in a position that comes with fruit, a position that comes with a benefit or some reward, know this. Do not be overwhelmed, for you are merely one of many that I will use. And those whom you will have an impact, it is not up to you to know what that impact is. I have created a plan that too many people are worrying about what is the results of their actions, opposed to just focus on me and just be obedient. So today, November 21st, this was my experience. And my takeaway is to not worry, not be frustrated, not even feel alone. Just do what I believe he's directing me. And I believe, my brothers and sisters, that you too can experience communing with the Spirit of the Most High, praying and seeking the Spirit of truth, the Comforter, who was sent in Yahusha's name. Yes, I say it often. John 14:26. Here the Messiah is quoted as saying that the Father will send his set-apart spirit in his name being Yahusha. Not any other name, his name. I challenge you, my brothers and sisters, begin to look around, begin to examine and observe, begin to seek to discern. Let us use our eyes to see and ears to hear and listen, and discover who's presenting much larger content or the most in this walk. Those who recognize the true name of Yahusha Messiah, Yahusha, our Mashiach, or those who are using other names. Begin to start asking yourself, which one presents the keenest point, the sharpest point? Which one presents the most in magnified life, active life in this walk with the Almighty Father in Yahusha's name? It's no Trinity, none at all. But there's a sequence of recognizing and identifying the process in this relationship. Case in point, if you just say Yahuah all the time, Yahuah, or Yah, does that bring to mind his word manifest in the flesh? Does that bring to mind the sacrifice and resurrection? Does that bring to mind that he sent his set-apart spirit in Yahusha's name? Not all the time. It's as though in some cases, and we don't realize this, it's as though in some cases, if we say Yah and Yahuah all the time, it's as though we're ignoring. It's like I'm going to skip his process. I'm going to skip his plan. Shalom and good morning, my brother, my sister. I shared, and this here, when it stopped, you're here. I shared a dream that I had, and in the end of that dream, and basically I'll repeat it since you stopped in. It was a dream where I was in a place where I was with an employer that I had once before, and my immediate boss gave me a promotion and a raise. And in this dream, the physical plant of this company that I once worked for had changed. It was larger. It was different. The people were functioning, acting differently. And so in this dream, I looked around, and so my immediate boss was saying we need to prepare to close this business for the day. And as we were preparing to close, I looked around, and like all the people that had one type of uniform left out, and a whole nother group came in with different uniforms, and they were performing a much greater task, more diverse than the previous. And I looked around, and it's like with this promotion came a raise, but I was looking at it like saying, well, things are different. Things are larger. Things are different. The people are responding differently. So I woke up this morning, and I began to pray and ask, can this dream have anything to do with me now? Does it have an effect on me now? You'll find out, my brothers and sisters, that basically what I tend to do is if I have any dream, I pray and ask, does it have some relevance to my life now and today? And as a result, I believe the spirit of Yahusha was letting me know that the world is changing. The behaviors of people are changing. And that any one of his children, when we walk, when we go to work, when we engage others day to day, we have an effect on people. If he is indeed working in us and we're spreading love, life, and truth, whether it be through practical, wholesome actions that can be measured against set of partners. I believe he was telling me that though people have changed, do not become overwhelmed. Don't become overwhelmed by the things I direct you to do. Just obey. Just seek to obey me. And I believe he was saying to me that I have many servants, and I work through many people. So do not get frustrated. Do not get angry. Let us not feel alone. And I believe in all the things that I've experienced, yes, things are changing, my brothers and sisters. They're changing. But it's comforting to know that there's a living spirit of the Almighty Father. And I think so many people miss growing in that experience because we fail to realize that the Father, the Almighty Father Yahuah, he sent his set-apart spirit in Yahusha's name. And you will find, if you've listened to me or read any posts, whether it be YouTube or Facebook, that I use that often. And I'm referencing John 14:26. John 14:26. Here, the Messiah, the Mashiach, is quoted as saying the Father will send his set-apart spirit in his name. I know that literacy, our ability to comprehend what we read and or hear, differs. Thus, we have different interpretations. But as for me, my brothers and sisters, I believe that verse is telling us that there's a sequence in the plan. There's not a trinity. There's no trinity. It was Yahuah. He manifests his word in the person of Yahusha. And upon the resurrection, he sent his set-apart spirit in Yahusha's name. And what I was saying when some of you stepped in to the broadcast is that it's a sequence. It's not a trinity. In other words, when we hear Yah or hear Yahuah, oftentimes we look at him as the Almighty Father. And that's all we think of if we just say Yah and Yahuah, Almighty Father, hallelujah. But so many times we fail to recognize that as we go through our day-to-day lives, when people say something told me to do this, or I should have followed my first mind to things that proved to be right or set apart or true, I submit to you, it's not something told you, and it's not something of a first mind. I submit to you, when we confirm things to be true, that truth comes from the Most High. And that is the spirit of Yahusha within us, working together with our spirit, working through us, in us, one towards another. And I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, that if we just say Yah and Yahuah all the time, most people may just think of the Almighty Father and fail to realize his plan. It is written that no man can come unto the Father except by the Son, directing us to recognize Yahusha. Thus we pray in Yahusha's name. Thus we recognize that Yahuah and Yahusha are one. Many people struggle with that, and it's not for me to try to explain or try to make anyone believe what I believe. I have grown to know that John 6:44 and John 12:32, which speaks of a drawing, being drawn by the Father. No one can be drawn. And that speaks of as Yahusha be lifted up, that he will draw us together. So it is my belief, my brothers and sisters, that we will grow to a point where we will not have to argue and debate with one another, that we will seek out like-minded brothers and sisters who understand, who are being drawn. So am I saying that if a person don't understand, if I'm saying if someone different from me may not be drawn? Indeed I am. But I do know the flesh war against the spirit. I know that I could make a mistake as with anyone. But I cannot use that excuse to be silent. It is written in 1 John, I believe 1 John 4:1, to try the spirit, to test the spirit. So if I believe what I'm saying is true and put it out there, wherever you are in your studying, wherever you are in your relationship, in your walk and set apartness, you're able to gauge whether these words are true or not. So my brothers and sisters, I'm saying that to say, the days of saying something told me, or I should have followed my first mind, or I'm glad I followed my first mind, or I'm glad I listened to my subconscious, those days will dwindle. They will become minimal among set apart children of Yahuah. that are growing in maturity. We will begin to look at what's stirring inside, and as we speak, say, I believe that the Spirit of Yahusha has directed me. Now, if we believe that, let us say that based on our studies, based on the sum of where we are, according to the word as we understand it. If we are not sure, we can share with others and say, I believe this, and let me share it with you. What say you, my brothers and sisters? Do you bear witness to this? And so one that may be more learned or more mature or in a position that they're being used may say, you know, I bear witness to that. That's good. That's true. I believe it is the Spirit of Yahusha. I believe we lift up Yahusha as it is stated in John 12:32 when he said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men to myself. I believe out of our obedience, then we lift him up. And if our eyes are focused on him, then we will come together in unity because we're focused on him. All too often, we think that we need to help him out. All too often, I have witnessed many people read the scriptures or take a position of belief and take it and think they can run with it. I've seen people say, I'm going to throw some precepts at you, unaware that the particular version that say precept upon precept, unaware that that's saying that the words must build, must connect. And if they do not connect, to just isolate something and throw it at someone would be inappropriate. If it has no connectivity to set apartness, if it has no connectivity to his word. So my brothers and sisters, I say this to you. We are facing some serious challenges each day, and things will get intense. And I will present as long as I have breath and believe I am directed. If you haven't already, I've introduced what I call the End Time Ruling Series. I had broadcast 2 of them on Facebook Live, but I made a decision that I believe the best route to go is to just upload those on YouTube. So I upload them on YouTube and post the link on Facebook. But as pertaining to Facebook Live, whenever you see this banner, this picture, Symmanayahs chat time, it would be an unscheduled event, a random event. It is recorded, and I will probably post this recording on YouTube, upload it on YouTube as well. I'm not sure how long Facebook Live, I'm new to the Facebook Live thing, so I'm not sure whether it'd be archived or how long it would be up. But in its title, I will put the time and the date. So to say Symmanayahs chat time, then I'll put the time, and then I'll put the date. So although you may see the same picture up, look at the title of it, and that will let you know what time and what date it started. I won't post when it ends. That would be easy for one to discern, or just look at the clock, the timing on it. But I'm going to say this, my brothers and sisters. A lot of us are on Facebook. In some cases, Facebook may be the only fellowship. Sure, we go to work. Sure, we interact with family and friends. But we may not have that fellowship that we want. Or many of us are in compromised fellowships. And if you doubt that, ask anyone that's part of a fellowship or a camp. Ask them, are they satisfied? Are there times when they just don't feel like they're being fed or growing? Then why stay in a compromising fellowship? Why not spend the time beginning to get to know one another? We can begin to get to know one another, and we can eventually move beyond Facebook. We can begin to talk to each other on the phone. At some point, we may even meet. And if there is indeed a final exodus, that we become participants. And if this is to occur before the return of Yahusha, our Messiah, then at some point we will come together face to face. And if we believe this will be true, if there's a stirring inside that brings about an expectation that we will be a part of an awakening nation growing together, if we begin to start talking to one another or engaging one another, whether it be online, on phone, on Skype, whether it be Facebook Messenger, whether it be in person, as we begin to come together more and more, and as the group larger, some of the work would have been taken care of as far as that initial encounter. You know how when you meet a stranger and say, I really don't know you, but we have to walk down this road together. I really don't know you, but we're probably getting ready to get on this ship together. I really don't know you, but it appears that we desire to do the will of the Almighty Father, and we're heading to the promised land, if indeed this should come to be. Or let's say that we witness a final exodus and we're not a part of that. That doesn't mean we don't seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. It doesn't mean that the Father doesn't care. For this is his plan, and he will work it to how he see fit. You see, my brothers and sisters, there could be a final exodus, and there will be a final exodus, but there could be people that don't participate in that journey back to the promised land, that set apart mountain, which I believe is the true Mount Sinai, which is Jabal al-Laws. There could be people, and there will be people that will be left behind, not because of rebelliousness, not because of wickedness. Sure, there are going to be those, that's obvious, those because of wickedness and rebellion are left. But there could be some set apart brothers and sisters. There could be some of us left behind to give and deliver these final words before destruction begins to hit, so people will know that there's still an opportunity. There could be still individuals left in the trenches, left when the wrath come. But to the set apart children of the Most High, it would not be wrath. We face discipline and refinement, and we know that it's not about these bodies. It's not about flesh and blood. It's about worship and obedience. It's about knowing that these bodies will go back to the dust. They will return, but our spirit will be in the presence of the Most High. And Ecclesiastes mentioned how these bodies will go back. But upon resurrection, upon judgment day, there is an everlasting life to look forward to. So, my brothers and sisters, look around. If you doubt whether we've moved beyond types and shadows, look around. Look around. I'll conclude here. Does anyone have anything that they would like to say or type, and I will respond to it? Or otherwise, at another time, if I see a comment, I may respond if I know what to say, if I'm compelled to say something. With that said, be encouraged. Have a good day. And thank you for tuning in. You visited Symmanayahs Chat Time, as I believe I was directed to present. Shalom. 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 Oh, before I finish, shalom, Hadassah. Are you still there? And she's gone. I'm done.